Plug in some attitude with Sound Toys.
So hi Giovanni,
Hi Ed, thanks for coming.
we are here in Fraptools in your little house, I guess I call
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
it's a little shack.
a little shack, yeah. And we're going to look at Bagai, right?
Yeah, that's correct. This is our main new modules. We are actually announcing two of them, Bagai and 411. But Bagai is probably the dearest to us because it took a while to develop, and it is a sort of expression of Fraptools identity development. It is our take, is an expansion of the sample and hold concept, translated both in the CV realm and in the audio realm. And it can be seen as a sister brother to Sapel, for those of you who know it, and it kind of expands some of Sapel's sections and covers some territory previously unexplored. So at its core we have a clock section, which is the yellow one, that internally feeds a sample and hold circuit with a straight and an 8-bit quantized one. And by default, right off the bat, it samples its own internal thermal noise. So as you plug it into the system, it will output a random voltage, a stepped random voltage, which is bipolar as opposed to Sapel, with an 8-bit quantization with a variable bit depth. So we can go anywhere from 256 down to 2 only levels. We have a fluctuating random voltage and some advanced clock manipulation tools, clock randomization tools like the less than mode and more than mode that some of you will know from Sapel, now available at the same time, and the clock burst section, which is a kind of an advanced randomization tool. But the cool thing is that the internal clock can, through the switch, can go to audio rate and trigger the sample and hold circuit only, which means that now this knob here, only for the internal sample and hold circuit, will reach 30 kilohertz. And now you can patch audio signals instead of the internal semi-normal, the thermal noise, and use Bagai as a downsampler and or a bit crusher. And I made a brief patch that demonstrate both of these behavior, which is why we added actually two of them in the same system. This one will go into the modulation territory and this one in the audio processing territory. So as you can hear, we have this very liquid patch going on, and this Bagai here is modulating two parameters. One is this filter here on the Kunsa, the cutoff frequency, which if you want I can single out. You can hear that is moving the patch a little bit. Now I bring also the other three filters into the mix, and the other sample and hold output, the quantized one, is modulating Fumana. So you can see that the spectral, this kind of notch filter, now has a wide range of possible positions, but as I reduce the bits, the positions will be fewer and fewer until with one bit only, it will move only between those two states. And this is the variable bit depth applied to a modulation context. But the patch consists just of BrainSource final output playing a single note, being modulated by many gates of the USA sequencer, feeding Kunsa, feeding Bagai, feeding Fumana, going to the CGM. And right now, this other Bagai, which is working at audio rate, is all the way at its highest sample rate and at its highest bit depth. So the bit reduction is actually not engaged. But you will hear that as I reduce this frequency, I am kind of downsampling the whole patch. And if I turn this knob, I will vary the bit depth. Very nasty bit crushing effect. And by combining those two behaviors and perhaps bringing in some bits from here, wide variety of very nasty nuances to our patch. So this is just a very brief introduction of what Bagai can do, but it's really a sort of reflection on the very concept of sample and hold and what it can mean for like an advanced patching tool.
So is it available now?
Yeah, it is. The units are ready and we are about to ship them, and we will do that as we reach home from Superbooth.
And a final price?
It's gonna be €250 plus VAT.
Brilliant. And there was one other module that we were going to briefly look at, right?
Yeah. It's gonna take very little time because it's very small but very powerful. It's a quadruple VCA in the style of our popular utility modules like 333 and 321, and it consists of 4 linear VCAs for audio and CV with semi-normal inputs, so it can work as a quadruple multiple. So you can modulate some effects with some sounds or some CVs with different sources and send them to 4 different points, or you can mix them with the unpatched and some outputs that some of you may already know from the 321. So it is something that we felt was missing in this kind of ecosystem, because it's like packing more features, but at the core there is the concept of VCA. So you can use it for amplitude modulation, or if you have enough gates you can use it as a sequential switch, and basically a very valuable tool to distribute voltages and audio across a complex system like this.
Brilliant. Well, Giovanni, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you for passing by.
See you next time.
See you. Cheers.